the grind. Yeah, the bubble grind.
Now we have a guy that could probably get in there if you...
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers hit the road once again. What's up, Nasties? Happy Wednesday. How was your Canada Day? You watched some fireworks? I saw them all. Every single one in the surrounding area, Joaquin.
Why does Tommy have this so low?
From my balcony.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Welcome to EST Afternoons, live from the William Huff Studios. Lots to get to today, Joaquin. Holy smokes.
Is there?
Yeah. It's Zach Kubish.
Kub.
It's Joaquin Gage.
Leaving.
It's Hernan Salas. How you guys doing? Summertime. Beautiful day out there, Joaquin. Perfect day to run good 13K.
13K in this weather?
No, I'd probably pass out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too much. It's warm. It is warm.
I love it. I love it. Yesterday was also nice. I sat in the sun for a bit and I was like, yeah, I got to get out of here. Which is, it's crazy because I love being in the sun, but even I had to go in the shade. I was like,
really?
Yeah,
You?
drenched in sweat. You know when you get all sticky too because of the sweat?
Yeah. So yesterday, it was my wife and I's 20th wedding anniversary.
No way.
Yeah, 36 with the wind chill, and we had a day to ourselves, kind of, because the kids both had cars. We said, "Yeah, see you later." So we got up, did some quick stuff around the house, hit the patio at the Canadian Brew House in Windermere.
Nice.
And you've been there.
That's a nice patio.
And it was hot, right? And they have the misters. They didn't have them on, but I sat down and I heard this guy talking hockey in a Eastern European accent. I looked behind me. There's Laddie Schmid.
Oh, nice.
So, saw Laddie, and then my wife and I we had a few cervezas, and then we go, well, let's. What do you want to do now? So we went. We go, well, let's keep this party going. So we went to Original Joe's by my place too, and I sat out in the sun there. That was hot. It was hot at the brew house. It was also hot there. Then we were like, okay, let's go take the dog for a walk. Hit the dog park. My dog ran in the North Saskatchewan for a bit.
Nice.
Came home, looked at the kids. They whined and complained. We threw some famoso pizzas down their throat. And then we went to go watch the F1 movie.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
You watched it without me.
Yeah.
Bugger. I thought we had a date, man.
Yeah, I couldn't wait any longer.
Okay,
It was awesome.
Out of 10.
9.
Okay.
Nothing much gets 10. It was exactly what I thought it would be. I mean, it was fun because they would say certain things or look at certain things, and I knew exactly what they were talking about, right? So that was pretty cool. I mean, it's unrealistic and things, but
of course.
But I mean, my wife was like, "He's 61." The old Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
His guy's just. He looks amazing. It's amazing how good looking that guy is.
Amazing.
It's amazing, and no, it's pretty cool. It's a fun watch, I would say, if you're just into just to be entertained about stuff, because don't go there thinking it's going to be like exactly like F1 and stuff, because he's the old wily vet coming in and
he's teamed up with the young.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's great, man. It's really good. And Brad Pitt said something pretty cool the other day where the first time they were actually filming was in Silverstone. And they were out there standing for the national anthem during the race, the actual race. And he said, I just felt like such a jackass poser, right? Because you're with the guy. It would be like, going standing in on the sidelines at an NFL game with your whatever. You're with the real dudes and stuff. But he said it progressed as it went along. But it was cool. It was neat.
That's awesome. Congratulations to you and your wife on 20 years.
20 years.
20 years. Good stuff. So you had some bevies. You saw a good movie. No kiddos. That sounds great, Gager. Congrats.
Yeah, and then to top it all off, got home probably like 12:30. I'm tired, right? Our daughter is like complaining that someone moved her glasses.
Oh boy.
And so we're like, she's asking us to find them. He goes, I put them there. I don't know what you guys did. I'm not blaming anyone, but I put them there. And now they're not there. I don't know what you've done. They were on top of the books. And I'm like, no, they weren't. And so finally I'm done. And I go try to think where they are. And she's yelling. And my wife's getting really upset. And she's like, what a waste of a day. And then, of course, my daughter finds them underneath the bed in the spare room. Like,
oh, boy.
It was awesome.
Nice way to end the night.
No, great way to. It was because then it was kind of funny again at the end. It got so heated that it got funny.
Oh, Jen says congrats to you and your wife.
Thanks.
So let's get to it. Interesting day yesterday. A lot of bad deals, man, around the NHL. You're almost glad the Oilers didn't have a lot of money. We're going to get to it. That's all coming up in Hernan's world. We're going to look at some of the best, some of the worst deals. Our boy Kenny Holland, he's going to be just on what side? We'll find out soon enough. But yeah, a lot of bad deals given out yesterday. Oilers obviously quiet, more quiet than they've been in previous years. And a lot has to do because they had no money, ton of no movement. So you knew it was going to be quiet. If you can do simple math and know how to read Puckpedia, I think you were all on board saying that this was going to be a pretty quiet summer for the Edmonton Oilers. And that's exactly what it is. I mean, the Sorokin stuff is ridiculous. I never bought into the Besser stuff. We'll get to all that. But the Oilers today announced they signed Curtis Lazar, obviously NHL veteran, to a 1-year contract, league minimum, so you can bury this guy if need be. We'll get to it. The big one was obviously Andrew Mangiapane. He signs a 2-year deal worth with an AAV of 3.6. No movement this year, but you weren't trading him anyway, Joaquin, in his first year, right? And then the second year, it's a 5-team list that he can provide the team. So I like the player. We talked about it last week. I know Belzy brought it up. I think a month ago. We were just talking in the chill zone there, and
chill zone,
and we were just kind of throwing out names that the Oilers could target, and Mangiapane was one. I think Belzy's the one that brought it up. So a good player. We're going to break this all down, but Joaquin, and they did sign minor leaguers, Matt Tompkins, 31-year-old goalie. He's going to be the guy in Bakersfield now that Rodriguez is going to move on. And defenseman Riley Stillman, he won't be in the top 6, maybe a 7, 8, 9. Again, Bakersfield guys. So not a lot, but I guess let's start with Andrew Mangiapane. Your thoughts when you saw this deal come down last night?
Well, it was like everyone was listening to us because we were talking about this for a while. As one of the targets the Edmonton Oilers should look at is Andrew. I'm not in YouTube Trev's camp. I don't hate him that much. I think he's a serviceable player. Granted, I didn't watch a lot of Capitals games all year, but I did watch a good portion in the first round, and he just stood out in the games. Like a big hit, a good play.
He's feisty.
I think for what they've kind of lost with Kane, and Brown. But to be honest, I mean, I liked Connor Brown, but he wasn't my favorite.
No.
I always wanted, Connor Brown always left me wanting more, And
remember, he was brought in to play with Connor McDavid.
Supposed to be in the top 6.
Yeah.
That was supposed to solidify Connor's winger.
Yeah.
And with him and Hyman, and then Nuge, Draisaitl, whatever it was. Whatever it was. But no, I think this is a good move for the Edmonton Oilers. And, although there's not a lot of room to do things, right? The cap situation that they're in, I'm sure they probably took a few swings, who knows, or asked about some certain players, but it was quite interesting that a lot of guys stayed where they were. Like the Besser one caught me completely off guard. I thought, oh, whatever, that was his last deal. Mm-hmm. I didn't know if he would re-sign again, but and it was kind of lean. The whole cast of free agents this year were it wasn't that deep, I would say, and the opportunities for offer sheets are there just weren't in the cards for the Edmonton Oilers, I don't think.
No, I mean, again, if just go on Puckpedia, it was like the Oilers weren't going to go out and get the big fish. They just can't. And now I know next year there's a ton of cap space, but I don't think it's going to be that free willy because McDavid's coming. You have to sign 2 goalies. You have to re-up Wallman. You got to, again, find wingers for Draisaitl. So, like, that money's going to be spent like
Jack Campbell gets a raise.
Yeah, so it's not that easy. Listen, I like Mangiapane. I think he's going to be a good fit. I think he's a top 9 guy. I wouldn't call him a top 6. Sam Bowman said today he's pretty much locked in to play top 6. But again, we've seen sometimes we thought Arvidsson and Skinner were locked in to be top 6 guys, and that didn't work. So sorry, Gager.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, I don't think this fixes the Oilers' top 6. I don't think it makes it better. I think Mangiapane's a good player. But he's probably better suited to be on your third line. And, there's certain there's certain people out there throwing out his numbers from 4 years ago. Okay, guys, that's just one of those years he struck gold like Nuge did with his 100-point season. Like, that's not him. Okay? He's not he scored 35 one year, yeah, but he scored that once 4 years ago. Like, you can't bring that up now. That's 4 years ago, guys. Yeah, 17, 14, and 14. Sure. Fourth line a lot last year, on Washington. Good player. But for me, I like the addition. The money's fine, whatever. It's all good. But this does not help the Oilers' top 6. It doesn't. Sorry, Gage. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask you about you kind of mentioned their top 6, and you heard Stan Bowman say that he thinks that Mangiapane is going to be in that top 6. But the measuring stick is I'm always going to be defaulting to Florida's top 6, which is really a top 9 when you look at their roster. And you in a one gamer, Oilers I think they can be successful. But as of right now, and this is on paper, and last year, look, we were all yelling from the rooftops with the signings of Arvidsson and Skinner.
Oh, everybody was.
Yeah, we thought, wow, they solidified.
Jeff Jackson didn't need a GM.
Yeah, that's what we were saying.
Yeah.
So I do like that they, I don't know, you see the Lazar signing. They had Stan Bowman saying they're looking internal for a few positions. So obviously that with Savoy, there's an opportunity for him. I like that look of things. There is a bunch of people that could go down to the minors and take that and free up some cap space if that's what they're looking for to get some guys. I don't mind the position they're in right now because the players that they're looking for to complement the big 2 really aren't available, and you might not. And I think it was Noodles this morning saying you might not know that until American Thanksgiving, when people are starting to go, okay, well, maybe we're looking, because the next year's draft's big, and I think you'll see some bottom feeders really try to make sure they get the best chance possible to go after that McKenna kid.
Okay, but Joaquin, everybody keeps talking about, they can do it in season. They're going to bring in 3 players. How? They still have no money, and I know you can. If you don't make any moves, you get some money. What's the term they use?
Accrue cap space.
Sure, but they're not. How much do you think they're going to get? Like, they're not going to get enough to bring in 3 players. People, like, they still have no money. They still can't trade more than half the team. Like, where's this coming? Like, people are like, I'm not going to judge till the trade deadline. Come on. The Oilers might get 1 guy at the deadline, and you think that's going to be enough with this roster? This team is still 2-3 players away for me to be back to a Stanley Cup contender. I still think they're a playoff team, Joaquin. I do.
Well, of course. They
have the 2 best players in the world. They're going to go to the playoffs. I think their defense is fine. They're going to run it back with Skinner and Pickard at 3.6.
They have to.
They have no choice. This team is a playoff team. 100%. I don't think they're a Stanley Cup contender today. They're not with this roster. You compared it to Florida? This roster goes up against Florida? Oh, boy. It's a 4-game sweep like that. It's that easy. A lot of teams loading up. I mean, Marner goes to Vegas. LA made some moves. A lot of them questionable, but a lot of them to try to beat the Edmonton Oilers. Dallas gets the former Oiler assistant coach. I mean, these teams are all getting together to dethrone the Edmonton Oilers, who have kind of ruled.
Vultures over the dead carcass here.
So for me, it's one of those things where this team is not as good as the one that finished. It's obvious. I know they can add in the season, but like, what are you guys expecting, man? Like, they're not getting a big name. I just don't see how. You need to move out money. And we're in the second segment, we're going to get to Leon Draisaitl, because what did Leon Draisaitl do so wrong in his life, my friend?
It's probably the former life, because he did something wrong.
Because, man, this guy, we've had an issue getting him wingers. Now we understand why Knobloch goes to the Big Two so much. You thought you saw it a lot this year? Wait till next year, because I think Draisaitl is going to play a lot with McDavid. I think that's going to be the norm.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah. Seriously, that's the norm. That's going to be, because I don't want to get into now because we've got to go to a break in 2 minutes, but I'm going to give you some names. I'm going to break down and ask you a few questions, Joaquin. As far as Curtis Lazar, sure. I mean, league minimum, fourth line guy. He'll probably be in and out of the lineup, 12th, 13th forward. If he's not up to speed, then again, you bury that contract. Sorry, you don't like that word. What was the word again?
Sent down. No, I sent down's fine. What did you say?
Buried.
Yeah. That's what I hated.
So he'll go to the minors. I mean, this doesn't. I know it's nostalgic. You won a Memorial Cup here. That's all fine and dandy. He's a great guy. He's always got a smile on his face.
Great smile.
Yeah, he's great. But we're looking at a Stanley Cup contending team, and for me, these moves don't move the needle at all. Sure, depth. He'll probably have to challenge Noah Philp for that spot. You can probably move to the wing. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not overly excited for this, but it. How do you feel, Nasties? Do you like Curtis Lazar? I mean, we're talking about a fourth line guy that's probably going to be in and out of your lineup, possibly up and down with the A in the NHL. Do you like Mangiapane? Or are you on YouTube Trev's side? Because YouTube Trev's not impressed with the bread man. He is not impressed. I like the deal. I just don't think this team is better. And I think that's fair. I don't think they're better. I think up front they are taking some hits, and there's a lot of question marks, a lot. And we're going to get to that. We're going to talk Draisaitl on the other side of the breaking and breakdown, because Stan Bowman had some interesting comments today. He did say that the Bouchard camp, 8 years was never on the table.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And you like the deal.
I do. It's 4 years. Worry about his contract in 4 years. Who knows what Bouchard we're going to get the next 4 years?
Oh, you'll get normal Bouchard, and then playoffs will come along. Then you'll get the Butcher.
Are you at all a little concerned that now that he's fat and sassy because he got his deal, he got his money, like, because we always complain about how nonchalant he is on the ice. Imagine the first giveaway in the first game. It is going to be an absolute disaster on the post-game show, on every show. But I like it. Like I said, you worry about it in 4 years from now. 8 years is never on the table. The good thing, he doesn't have a no movement for the first 2 years, and then he kicks in his third and fourth years, which is kind of interesting.
It is interesting that he can be moved in the first 2 years.
Yeah.
And then no movement the next two. Yeah, usually doesn't it go no movement in the first couple, and then you're able to be moved? Usually that's what guys do. I thought. Yeah. Hey, Bush does things differently.
So there is you could trade him in the first. Okay.
Well, I mean, or is this, if things really, I mean, this is completely hypothetical. Things aren't going well, and they go, you know what, something's going wrong, and the ability to trade Bouchard, because they obviously, to get this done now, they thought that the possibilities of him receiving an offer sheet, I mean, LA probably would have done something, I guess.
Oh, boy. Okay, on the other side of the break, we're going to talk about this forward group. the options for Leon Draisaitl. And we want to hear from you. River Korean Box 780-218-9999. The Nasty Chat is just on fire right now. Keep those messages coming. Of course, we don't all have to agree. We all have our opinions as long as we keep it respectful. We roll along here on EST Afternoons, of course, presented by Edmonton Sports Talk and presented by Play Alberta. Why limit your choices when you can have it all? Play Alberta is your go-to app for casino games, sports betting, and lottery, all in one place. With easy access to real money games, you can enjoy everything Alberta has to offer right at your fingertips. Download Play Alberta now and start playing today. More Oilers talk on the other side of the breaks. Any questions for Joaquin or I, send them in. River Korean Box, Nasty Chat. Slam that thumbs up. Slam that thumbs up. We're back after the break.
The Oilers have signed former Oil King Curtis Lazar to a one-year deal at league minimum, with the 30-year-old having 2 goals and 5 points in 48 games with the Devils last season. In other news, Rogers now owns a 75% stake in Maple Leafs Sports and Entertainment, becoming a majority owner after purchasing Bell Media's share at 37.5%. For the Devils, they've extended Cody Glass to a 2-year contract worth $2.5 million per season, and the Red Wings have signed Mason Appleton to a 2-year deal, $2.9 million cap hit. He had 10 goals and 22 points in 71 games last season. And according to ESPN's Sham Charania, the Knicks are expected to hire 2-time NBA Coach of the Year winner Mike Brown as their next head coach. In baseball, the Jays are in action against the Yankees. Jose Barrios gets the start for Toronto. First pitch at 5:07. 4 games are live right now. 2 in the 7th inning. The Padres up 6-3 over the Phillies, while Cincinnati and Boston are locked at 3 apiece. And for the Riverhawks, they host the Lefties. Listen to the full game on any of EST's audio streams. Coverage starts just after 7. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated since 1993. They're more than just plywood. They offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork. Windsor Plywood Leduc, they're the experts you need to know. The conversation continues following the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Jamie McLennan.
Mangiapane can kill penalties. Younger, faster. He is a pest, so he is hard to play against. He's a smart player. That's one of the things when you need to continue to add to this group in Edmonton is you need high IQ players. Players who can think the game, who can adapt to their environment. And that's what Mangiapane is.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, presented by Southport Chevrolet. Weekday mornings 6 to 9, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Kayaks, bikes, camping gear? Make space for summer fun with Sentinel Storage. Spend more time on adventures with your outdoor gear and less time looking for them. Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca.
The Canadian Brewhouse is turning up the flavor this summer with our new summer feature menu. Try our jerk chicken skewers, Cajun shrimp tostadas, and street corn salsa. Bold bites made for patio season. Get them while it's hot. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
Summer in Edmonton means 3 things: warm weather, long nights, and plenty of sports. From the lake to the links, you can boost your summer fun with hundreds of casino games, live betting on your favorite sports teams, and access to popular lotteries. All in one app, anywhere in the province. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code YAG50 to claim a $50 free bet. That's promo code YAG50 for a $50 free bet on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
$125. Welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. An absolute beautiful Day out there today, plus 30. This is Hernan weather. And it's not too hot. Stop complaining. We don't get this too often, so enjoy it. Go outside. Have a brew or a Slurpee. Go for a run. Go to the water park. Go to Mill Creek Pool. Remember Mill Creek Pool? Legendary.
Never went.
You never went to Mill Creek Pool?
No.
Wow.
That place is awesome.
Yeah.
You get a freezy. no, it's amazing. You get a freezy, sit poolside. You're in the ravine. It's great. It's great.
It's absolutely fantastic. Okay, Joaquin Mangiapane. Listen, Leon, and I think Craig Button said it. Why did what was it? I think someone sent it into the river. Do they hate Leon? The Edmonton These are so Stan Bowman said today that that he sees Mangiapane on either 97 or 29's wing. Let's go with 29. And that last player in that top 6 would be internal candidate, Podkolzin, Kapanen, Savoy, Henrique, Frederick, Tomasek. I'll say this. If Leon Draisaitl starts the season with Podkolzin and Kapanen on his wings, that to me is a fail. Sorry, it is. Okay? I'm going to give you another option. People are saying Tomasek, Savoy. Those are such enormous wild cards right now, Joaquin.
Yeah, but maybe Savoy turns into like a Stankhoven or a Johnson.
Yes, you're right. But again, we don't know. Okay? I don't think Henrique suited to play in the top 6 on the wing. Sorry. Frederick, no. You brought Frederick in to be your third-line center. Keep him there. So right now it's Podkolzin, Kapanen, Savoy, Tomasek. For me, that are your top 4. I hate to be this guy and be negative, but I think that's awful. I truly do. I don't think... And that's why I think 97 and 29 are going to play a lot more together than they did last year. And last year they played a lot. Like, this team, as a Stanley Cup contender, supposed to be, can't continue to hope players work out. Like, yeah, there's for sure, Gager. There is sure things in the NHL, like a Besser obviously would be a good fit. You know, he can score and all that. But this hope, well, we're hoping these guys can work out. It's a bad strategy for a team that's supposed to be contending for a Stanley Cup.
I see what you're saying, but I don't know. It's funny how you were so optimistic that the Oilers would win the Stanley Cup, and I wasn't. Now we're switching sides again.
Well, because the team that was in the Stanley Cup Finals is way better than this team on paper. Right
is
now.
it though?
It is. 100% it is.
I don't know. Why is it better?
Okay, let me give you this.
I mean, Skinner didn't play. Corey
games.
Perry was out of his mind. But I mean, it was like, God, why can't anyone else do this? Like, you can't have Corey Perry being one of your top guys and your top 6 at this point.
No, you're right. Like, so the Oilers this year have lost Corey Perry, Victor Arvidsson, Evander Kane, Jeff Skinner. Okay, I don't think Arvidsson was as bad as everybody thinks he was. I think, yeah, he did, production-wise, he didn't produce, but I thought he was in there. He was feisty. Okay,
yeah, but you can get that anyway. Like, that's easily replaced.
But you're replacing those guys with Savoy, who's a wild card, Tomasek, who's a wild card. Who else? Mangiapane.
Lazar.
And Lazar. Evander Kane is better than all those guys. He is. And I know you had to move on to him. You needed to capture.
But he didn't even play in this regular season, so it doesn't matter.
No, but overall, he's a better player than the guys the Oilers have brought in. Okay. Podkolzin in the top 6, Joaquin, we saw it all last year. He can play. I'll have Podkolzin on my team any day, but he can't produce.
No.
So you can't have him with Draisaitl. I'll give Mangiapane the benefit of the doubt. Start with Draisaitl. If he can score 20 plus, that'd be awesome. Sure. Savoy, he looked good. There's something there. I'm optimistic that he can make this team, and he's going to get a long look in the top 6. I hope he can. Tomasek, Gager, we talked about Euros in late 20s coming over. I don't know how it's going to work out.
It's going to be an adjustment.
Yeah, it's going to take him a while, right?
Oh, yeah. Just this spot, like, I believe he was in the Swedish league last year. It's big ice, right? A lot of puck possession. They play a different style of game. It's just different. NHL, bigger, quicker, and not as much space. So that's going to take some time. He's going to be used to getting the puck and having that extra half second to usually do something just because of the size of the ice.
Okay, Gage, I'll ask you this. Let's say Mangiapane, similar to Skinner, doesn't work with Draisaitl. Okay? Then you probably pop him on your third line with Frederic. That'd be a hell of a line.
Or he goes up with Connor.
Then who like, again, well, Savoy, sure, we can pencil him in. Like, I don't want Podkolzin up there. I don't want Kapanen up there.
So who's your first line to start the year?
I think you have to go McDavid, Hyman, Nuge.
Ugh.
Or you have to go Draisaitl, McDavid, Hyman, and then Nuge is going to have to eat his Wheaties this offseason, hit the gym, and find a different gear because he's going to have to center that second line a lot.
I said this before. When they first got Frederic, I was trying to say, who's he comparable to? And the name that kept coming across my mind was Tom Wilson. And I know he's not. He scored in the past. He's put the puck in the net. He's a big force. Louis DeBrusque, I talked to him about him. He said he's a very good player. He gets around quite well for a big guy, but he's mean. I tell you, I have time to see what Frederic can do beside McDavid and Hyman, and be that kind of Tom Wilson type of guy.
Sure, yeah,
because he moves. I think once he's all healed up and stuff, I think he'll get around a lot better than Perry did.
Yeah.
And I just think having that force, McDavid's hasn't played with a guy like that since Maroon, kind of. A guy that sticks up for him on the ice, creates a little bit more space, a different worry while they're on the ice. And if he has a little bit of touch around the net, which obviously we didn't see a lot of in the playoffs. I just got time to see how that looks. And I hope that Coach Naba, it comes to a point in the season, maybe he adjusts and has that put together, but keeps it together for a while. Instead of, if it's not working after 10 minutes, go back to what he's used to.
Well, and knowing Knobloch, we're going to see a lot of different looks, Joaquin.
I know.
I think
you have to. I understand it.
And especially with a roster like this, where there's so many question marks of who can fit in with who, because there is. Of course, I want Matt Savoy to succeed, and I think he can. But can he play 82 games with Draisaitl? Can Tomasic make the team, let alone be the top 6 guys? Kapanen for me is 4th line. Podkolzin, 4th line, 3rd line, whatever. I'm not opposed to Frederic getting a shot with the 2 big boys. I don't like Enrique with either of those guys. I just don't think he can keep up.
I thought Bowman said he actually mentioned maybe Enrique plays up in the top 6 on the wing a little bit here and there.
He said he's going to get a look. He said Knobloch's going to try a lot of different things. But I guess the point I'm just trying to make is for a team in this part of their evolution or where they're at as an organization with the 2 big top dogs in year 10, and we're still hoping that guys work out in the top 6, and Draisaitl still has to like this is what makes Draisaitl even an amazing player, Joaquin.
Yeah.
Because if he's not with McDavid, then a lot of his points come away from McDavid 5-on-5. He's doing it with a rotation of players, man. And that's hard to do.
Yeah, when someone's different every single time. This looking at David Morrow, expecting Savoy to survive with Draisaitl is a pipe dream. I don't know if it's a pipe dream. I mean, had a good season in the American Hockey League. We'll have a little bit of confidence coming in. Like I said, it's tough to go in and have Leon Draisaitl as your center. Because you're counted on to produce all of a sudden, And we saw what happened with that. We saw what happened with that with Connor Brown. He couldn't do anything, and he had to get demoted because you weren't producing.
Yeah,
and he didn't produce till essentially last year and a bit. Year and a month. So, and still he could penalty kill, but I always wanted more. But that's the thing, like. It's not only the 5-on-5 play. Like, where is the power play has to be a little bit better next year. So they have to think about that. I don't know if you a lot of people were talking about coaching and stuff. And one again, Jamie McLennan, I heard him on the morning show talking about how he was talking to Seth Jones when he got to Florida. He said all they did, they sat for hours and hours and hours of watching video and breaking it down so he could assimilate into their defensive style or what they wanted to do. I was shocked to hear that because you don't hear a lot of that. Not that you would maybe, but I think that's a crucial component. And maybe there's not only a change of personnel that's needed for this Edmonton Oilers team to be better, but also I don't maybe a change, just a different way of thinking, maybe some new ideas, right? Because the power play has to be better. It always was good, but it has to be a little bit more consistent, I think. And the PK can't be what it was. One of the weaknesses of the Edmonton Oilers.
100%. 100%. So if Savoy,
bye Dusty.
So if Savoy and Tomasek don't work out, the Oilers still have 12 guys, including Lazar and Philp, that fill out the 11th and 12th spot.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not ideal because then you have Podkolzin on your second line. Your fourth line right now, according to Puckpedia, I mean, things can change. Jan Mark with Lazar and Philp. Not very good. Third line, sure. Enrique with Frederick. Yeah, I don't know, Joaquin. It's just a lot of ifs, and I don't think we should be here with this team. And listen, they did it to themselves. There's no one to blame but the management that was here prior and the management now. They put themselves in this pickle. And again, this team is going to the playoffs. I have no doubt about that, Joaquin. They'll be in the playoffs. I just don't think I don't think they're a conference finals team. And yes, I know they can add during the season, but I just I look at their roster and I'm like, you don't have a first rounder next year. See ya, man. Who are you moving? You can't move your top 8 forwards in terms of money because they'll have no movements. Kapanen is up. Tomasek, Jones, Podkolzin. And I mean, if you bury a few of those guys in the minors, you get some cap space, right?
I mean, Kapanen, Tomasek, Jones, that frees up 3.5, right?
Yeah.
Lazar frees up a bit more.
So the Oilers in the last 2 years, Gager, they've lost Ryan McLeod, Dylan Holloway, Philip Broberg, Warren Fogle, Corey Perry, Victor Arvidsson, Evander Kane, Jeff Skinner, Connor Brown, John Klingberg. John Klingberg goes to the Sharks for a 1-year deal, $4 million. Unreal.
Wow.
Arvidsson obviously traded to the Bruins for a pick a couple of years down the road. Corey Perry to the Kings. I think it's over $3 million, including bonuses. And Connor Brown to the Devils, 4-year deal, $12 million. They priced themselves out here in Edmonton, Joaquin. Like, you're kind of glad they did, because if they signed these deals in Edmonton, we're all losing our mind.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Right? So,
I mean, Klingberg becomes the highest paid San Jose Shark defender.
Good for him, man. Good for him.
I liked him. Yeah. I mean, I thought it got the Panthers were just better. They were able to show the weakness in the Edmonton Oilers, right, and exploit it.
Well, I think Dusty brought it up. He said the plan of attack is to beat the Florida Panthers. The Oilers got younger, but they got smaller.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, now, the positive for Edmonton, and I will say this, Joaquin, and you're a goalie, and you can probably add to this more than I can. Their defense is solid, man. And they're all going in together again.
The Oilers, you mean?
Yes. Healthy, solid. Like, seriously, I think this is the best core defense the Oilers have had in a long time.
Bouchard, Nurse, Ekholm, Wallman, Kulak, Emberson, Stetcher.
I think that's good.
I do too. I do too. And there is
Skinner has to improve. I think he can. He's still fairly young. Pickard is Pickard. He's steady Eddie. So I think in that sense they're okay, Joaquin.
Maybe they have to win. Maybe this is where the coach looks at the lineup and goes, "Well, how are we going to win games now? Right? How are we going to have success in the regular season?" In years past, I think you You had 1 year with a tremendous power play, and last year you just had, you could overwhelm people with the brilliance of Connor and Leon. But maybe maybe this is the adjustment. Maybe this is what the GM sees. It gets to a point where you can't outscore your problems. Defense always wins. And maybe we'll see a more structured defensively Edmonton Oilers, right? A more counter-punching team where, I don't want to say sit back, but, not so much, not so offensively minded. And I think it's necessary throughout the lineup, right? I think you need that. You can't play that way for 82 games. I understand that. But there has to be, you can't have your top guys missing assignments in the defensive zone when it matters most. And the regular season is essentially an audition for the playoffs. And those are skills and of a repetitive nature that you keep doing game in, game out to get to that point. Maybe that's what we'll see. Maybe we'll see just a rock solid, boring defensive team.
They might have to change their ways.
They're going to have to, man, because other than the two big guys, who's going to be, you have Hyman, you got Hopkins, but this team has to change the way they play, I think, to be successful. Because over the last few years, it's always been the defensive structure that's broken down and the reason why they've lost.
Yeah. No, that's fair. David Morrow says, how is Mangiapane better than Brown or Arvidsson? That's a good question. And I think it goes down to everybody's different opinion. I think I'll be honest, I think he's better than both players.
You think Mangiapane is better than Arvidsson and Brown?
Mm-hmm. It's not by like a large margin. I think
we'll see. They're similar, right? They're
very similar.
Very similar players.
I'd almost say he's more similar to Arvidsson than Connor Brown.
Would you?
Yeah.
I can't. Well, we're going to see.
Yeah.
You just hope for a little bit more touch from both. He might have we've seen guys come in here. We thought they would have a lot of success. Jeff Skinner, and not do that well.
All right, we got to get to a break. We'll continue the NHL talk. The Nasty Chat is absolutely humming right now. It's great. Everybody having good conversations there. Not everybody agrees, but hey, that's how this thing works. Keep hitting us up on the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. The afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Tap 25 restaurant, where you can get the prime rib special for just $18.99. Available 7 days a week from 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. On the other side of the break, Hernan's World we'll take a look at some of the best deals and worst deals from the start of free agency yesterday, and we'll continue the Oilers talk. Are you concerned about this forward group? Who would you start with Draisaitl on his wings? Let us know, please. River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999, and the Nasty Chat. Slam that thumbs up. We're back with Hernan's World after the break. Here's Coop, Sports Update.
Former Oil King Curtis Lazar has signed with the Oilers at league minimum on a one-year deal. The 30-year-old played 48 games for the Devils last season, recording 2 goals and 5 points. In Toronto, Rogers now holds majority ownership of Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, buying Bell's 37.5% shares to hold 75% stakes in the company. From Detroit, 29-year-old Mason Appleton has signed a 2-year deal with a cap hit of nearly $3 million per season. In Elks news, they've signed American defensive lineman Tyreek Johnson to the practice squad. Johnson spending the last 5 seasons playing NCAA football in South Carolina with the Gamecocks. NBA news sees ESPN's Shams Charania reporting that the Knicks are expected to name Mike Brown as their next head coach. MLB has 4 games live, 13 other games on tap. The Jays and Yankees rematch just after 5. Toronto's Jose Barrios takes the mound. Right now, the Reds and Red Sox are tied at 3 apiece in the 8th inning. For the Riverhawks, they play the lefties. Action starts at 7:05. Listen to the full game on any of EST's audio streams. This sports update is brought to you by the Edmonton Elks. The Elks host the Red Blacks July 6th Bring some non-perishable food items and donate some cash with all proceeds going to the Edmonton Food Bank. All presented by Pure Later Tackle Hunger. Tickets start at just $20 at goelks.com. The discussion regarding free agency continues during Hernan's World. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The EST Hangout.
No, because he's a harder player to play against. His usage was less than ever in Washington. So you get a player that comes in, and yeah, he may be a little bit smaller. Like I think he's 5'10", 5'11", but he plays with some bite, and he has the ability to score. And you need players like that, especially if you want to continue, in the playoffs. And the team that's the team to beat is that.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
River Cree Resort and Casino and K97 proudly present Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly. Featuring small band and acoustic performances, Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly in the venue July 25th. Tickets at rivercreekresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc, we're the experts you need to know. 1:47. Welcome back to EST Afternoons here. Mangiapane, Draisaitl. Who's on the other side? Or does Mangiapane fall to the third line? Or does he play with Connor McDavid? So many options. What is your go-to Draisaitl line right now? Is it Mangiapane? Is he a lock? And who's on the other side? Let us know. River Cree inbox 780-218-9999. Or the nasty chat. Slam that thumbs up. Koob, can you, what do we have for thumbs? Do you know? Can you see?
Not right now. I'll get them.
71, not bad.
Let's
go. Vamos. And for the people saying, why aren't the Oilers getting Shelovs? Really? That's the answer? An AHL goaltender?
He's good.
He's good, but
one of them is going to have to go. Wow, who knows? So yeah, something's going to have to happen.
I'd rather go with Skinner.
He's $850 Shelovs. So... yeah. And then you'd have to send down
picks.
All
right, let's get to Hernan's World, brought to you by the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club. Fall in for flavor and fairways. The Edmonton Garrison Memorial Club is open to the public with twilight golf specials that go easy on your wallet and wings so good they should be on a parade. Hit the course, crush some wings, and soak in the sunset. Visit EGMGolf.com to book your round today.
Viva la raza!
Latino Heat! All right, boys. All three of us we're gonna all come together here, okay? And the Nasties as well, of course. Everybody listening to iHeart, TuneIn radio apps, or EdmontonSportsTalk.com. We're going to talk about some of the best deals and some of the worst deals, Joaquin.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Who wants to kick this off? Is that my computer? That might be mine.
That might be yours. I like the tune, though.
I apologize.
That's all good.
Wow. Who wants to start us off? Who's ready?
What are we doing? Best?
Let's go 1 and 1. Like
one
best?
For one?
Yeah.
Okay. The best moves?
One
of them.
Signing or trade?
Well, this one will have to be signing because it kind of defeated the norm. But I just think the signing of Aaron Ekblad by the Florida Panthers is unbelievable. All accounts, this guy was getting closer to 9 on the open market. They lock him up for the next, I believe, till 2033, $6.1 million per year. Saw his effect in the playoffs this year, his ability to shut down both Connor and Leon, and the fact that they have 2 huge number 1 defensemen. There's not many other teams that can boast that. Unbelievable job.
And no, I mean, can't go wrong with that one. It's probably the best one.
Well, it's a home run. Like,
it's
for 6.1, I thought it was a 9. Like,
It's crazy.
You know what? I blinked a couple times. I'm like, what? 6.1? That's such a low AAV for a guy like that. So there's not much more you could say. There's nothing bad about it. It's all good for Florida.
What do you got?
I got Mikael Granlund to the Ducks. 3 years at $7 million per season. He'll add to that Ducks lineup. They need to start signing players. They're on their up and up. They got a lot of young talent, but Granlund played fantastic with the Stars. Got shut down a little bit when they faced the Oilers in the playoffs, but he was great overall. Had a great season, so he's worth the money, I believe. Skilled player. Can play up and down the lineup. He'll be playing probably first or second line minutes with Chris Kreider or whoever they'll put him with there in Anaheim. I think that's a pretty good signing in Mikael Granlund to the Ducks.
Interesting, Coop. Very interesting. I'm going to go with one. I like this deal. A lot of you guys might disagree with me. Jonathan Drouin to the Islanders. 2-year deal, $4 million. I like this player because when he's healthy, man, he's quality. He is, but he just can't stay healthy. But I do like the deal for the Islanders. They're kind of in that rebuild mode. He did play 43 games last year with Colorado. Gager, he had 37 points. Like, there's still something there with this guy. 30 years old. You're not committing a lot of money. You're not committing a lot of term. I thought Jonathan Drouin was one of the best ones that we saw because there's not a lot, guys. There's really not a lot of value contracts here. Let's flip it over to some of the worst we saw. Maybe I'll kick it off. We'll go back to Goob and then finish with Mr. Joaquin Gage. I'm picking a team, boys.
I think I know where you're going to go with this one.
I thought the LA Kings had a terrible start to free agency. They had $25 million in cap space, which they turned into Cody Ceci, 31 years old, 4-year deal, 4.5. Brian Dumoulin, 33 years old, 4-year deal, $4 million. Corey Perry, 4 years old, he can make up to $3.5 million. Joel Armia, 32 years old. Anton Forsberg, 32 years old. Probably the only one that's okay is Kuzmenko re-upping for 1 year at 29 years old. I think Kenny Holland, man, that's some bad work. That's just my opinion. A lot of people might disagree with me, but nothing against Cody Ceci and Brian Dumoulin, but those guys shouldn't be getting 4-year deals for over $4 million. I think this is, and they're building a team to try to beat Edmonton. I don't know if this does it, to be honest with you. We'll wait and see, but do you guys agree with that pick?
Well, you can't really disagree with it, right? A team doesn't really want to get older. Right, and that's exactly what they did.
Well, the Oilers did last year.
That's what the Oilers did. Yeah, well, you don't want to get older, really, and they signed probably the oldest players. They did sign Corey Perry, who is the oldest active player right now. It's a bit mind-boggling. Like, the players are good quality. I think the Dumoulin and Perry signings are definitely the best. Kuzmenko re-upping there as well, but with Forsberg and the CC signing for $4.5 million. That's just, to me, that's not worth that money for a player like CC. I feel like Perry could be impactful, will be impactful once again, but there's a lot of question marks around that. So a lot of risks there. I don't know how high the reward level is for Kenny Holland and the Kings.
Gager, you got one?
Well, and I heard Huss talking about it on the Lock Shop today. The fact that the Winnipeg Jets can't get it done with Nikolai Ehlers. I think he's injury prone and stuff, but we've seen him against the Oilers, and maybe that's why I think I see the value in him. If a healthy Ehlers, I don't know if it changes the outcome of the playoffs, but he was a little bit banged up I just I believe they have a bunch of cap. Like they have currently $22 million in cap space, and it does look like Oilers is on the move. So unfortunate the Winnipeg Jets are going to lose one of their, I think, a key component of their team.
Yeah, it's interesting what's going on there with that team. Very interesting. Nikolai Ehlers, a guy, again, that can't stay healthy, but when he's on, he's one of the best out there. Another good one, guys, Nick Bukestad.
Yeah.
1.75, 2 years, good veteran guy, can do it all. That's a value contract, man.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like Bukestad anymore. I liked him when he was here. He said he liked them all. You know, he said he brought him back to as a kid. I thought that for sure the Oilers would take a swing, and it's not like they couldn't afford that. He was so good in that playoffs. You know, just a big.
If you grabbed him and Mangiapane, that changes things.
Yeah.
Poob, you got another good one?
Another good one. Nate Schmidt to the Mammoth for 3 years at 3.5. He was super impactful, super noticeable for the Panthers there. And, you know, a guy who came off waivers a few years ago, a couple of years back, and kind of made his way back up, getting that deal. I think he'll be great on that team. He is an exciting player, and that team's on the up and up. They want to improve much more than they did for last season. So he'll fit right in there with the Mammoth getting a lot of time. I think that's a good signing for sure.
Okay, I'll give one more bad one here. Thatcher Demko for me. Listen.
Yeah, that was my last.
I had that on my list, yeah.
Okay, so we all agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, healthy, this guy's one of the best goalies in the league. But the question is, can he stay healthy? I think 3 years at 8.5, it's going to be a split between him and Lankin, because you paid Lankin in too, Joaquin.
It's a horrible deal. I mean, unless they have heard that they figured his history out or why he can't get through, but the jump, he makes $5 million this year.
Yeah.
Then it jumps to 8.5 full no movement. That is awful. And part of me gets it because he is a difference maker.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And maybe, I don't know, goalies, you lose so much if you don't play. And he hasn't played a lot over the last little bit. If they can figure it out, the Canucks are a much better team. They're a playoff team with a healthy Demko. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just looking at their lineup, they're definitely a playoff team. But just the unknown to give that much away, it doesn't make any sense.
If they didn't have another goalie that they had under contract, Kevin Lankinen coming in at what, $5 million or whatever it is?
4.5.
A lot of money for somebody who, with Demko signed, and if he's playing healthy, to be a backup goaltender, right? And Demko is fantastic. You can't take away from the player. When he is playing and not injured, he is well worth that money. But it's a big risk. And for 3 years, it makes sense to go on the shorter term contract, but could really bite them if he's sitting and not playing.
I'll say this, listen, I said it off the hop. I like the Andrew Mangiapane signing. We talked about it last week. I talked with Sean Bell about a month ago about this player. I like it. I think he's a really good player. I think he's a good top 9 ad. The only thing I have is I don't think this makes your top 6 bet.
No.
That's if he's in the top 6. He might be on your third line. Who knows what happens at cap? We'll wait and see. But I still think the deal for Mangiapane was pretty good.
No, that was the one. I mean, I think we mentioned Bukestad. They couldn't go big game hunting, and not that there were tons out there.
No.
Right? But I do like I like the Mangiapane because it kind of replaced what they lost a little bit with Brown and Perry. I think he can fill those boots and be maybe a little bit more consistent than both. I think like Perry's great in spurts.
Yeah,
and he was great in the playoffs. So he was great all last year. But the fact that he beat out guys to get to be a regular in the top 6, just the depth of the Oilers needs to be greater than it is.
Yeah, he had 28 points last year in 81 games. Now, keep in mind, he did play a lot of fourth line minutes there. I mean, for a fourth line guy to get 28 points, he'll take that. So he's going to get a bigger opportunity, kind of like he had in Calgary, where he played a lot of top 9 minutes. He's come in 2021-22. He had 35 goals. That's his best output. I mean, he could. We'll get to that next. But, yeah, I mean, a lot of GMs made some mistakes this Canada Day. Because the Granlund, you said it was one of the good ones. I think it's one of the bad ones.
Really?
Yeah. I think he's just an older player. Now, Anaheim, it's only 3 years, so you can kind of live with that.
Yeah, that's if it was to another team for that amount, but where the Ducks are, I feel like it's a good signing for that team. So it puts them sort of in that right direction. He was more of the auxiliary piece with the Stars in Dallas, playing with a lot of great players. So maybe
I think he benefited. Obviously, you benefit from who you play with, right? But playing with Rantanen and Rupe Hintz,
it definitely helps.
That helps a little bit.
He ain't playing with those guys in Anaheim. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Maybe a Chris Kreider.
So for you, Nasties, what was the worst deal you saw? What was the best deal? Because I'll be honest, there wasn't a lot of value deals out there. I think Mangiapane won. Which one's the one you said? A Bukestad. The Ekblad one. Koob likes the Granlund deal to Anaheim. So, yeah, it's usually where a lot of GMs make mistakes. Just July 1st.
It's funny because I was thinking, what's worse? But it's kind of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I think that Marchand contract, right? It's great now, but that's going to look, who knows where the cap goes. They just might eat. They're going to have to eat it.
Yeah.
But is he going to play till he's 43? Jesus.
Oh, man, I don't know. Because, listen, Bowman, the Wallman trade was excellent. No one saw that one coming, okay? I still don't like the Frederick deal. And if he turns around and becomes an excellent player, then obviously we'll ease up on that. But the term for me is still too much. Then no movement's too much. The money's fine. It's just the length of it. For a third line guy, you should never give him an 8-year deal. He created cap space by trading Arvidsson and Kane. Kudos to him. He got some picks back, sure. He did what he had to. He didn't overpay for anyone, which is good too. So I think Stan Bowman right now, I don't think anyone's praising him.
No.
I don't think anyone's dogging him. I think he's right in the middle right now.
Well, as you mentioned though, last year with Jeff Jackson, everyone thought it was the greatest free agency day of all time with Skinner and that.
We were dancing in the streets, man.
Basically, yeah. So
I was.
You really don't know at this point, and things change once you do get into the season, how a player meshes with their team and things like that. So where Stan Bowman is right now, if you're not on the bad side of things, I think it's pretty good in the cap situation here. Mangiapane definitely adds to the team. It's basically the best of the bunch, which you could have gotten for that price, right? You couldn't have paid for Besser at that amount. All the other big fish names were signing for too much. So Mangiapane, he has that skill, but yeah, his best season came with the Flames, but every single player on that team did have a great season. So you're kind of, what you're hoping for him is to get at least 20 goals playing with Draisaitl, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's got to be the big one. And again, I think it's been good to good work for Stan Bowman. I mean, his hands are tied. I mean, a lot of the no movements he didn't give out. The cap space is not a lot is on him, Joaquin. So it's tough. He did what he could, and I think so far it's been just okay to good. I wouldn't say it's terrible. I wouldn't say it's great. And we'll wait and see. We got 2 months till the season starts, Joaquin. A lot can change. Probably get a few PTOs.
That's it?
Yeah, man. It's crazy, bro.
Well, it's 2.5.
20-goal season for Tomasek incoming.
Oh, boy. Hopefully Tommy's not listening. He'll lose your mind. That was Hernan's World discussing the best and worst signings we saw yesterday. Of course, Hernan's World brought to you by the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club. For all info, visit egmgolf.com to book your rounds today. Coming up next, we'll get to Inside the Numbers. Derek Van Diest is going to join us as well from NHL.com. We'll get to this day in sports history. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. 2 new wing flavors just dropped at the CBH for a limited time. 50-yard barbecue versus cherry cola. Which one scores big with your taste buds? Try them anytime for 69 cents on Wing Wednesday. Hey, that's today. The Canadian Brew House. Our house is your house. We're back with hour 2 of EST Afternoons after the break.
The Lock Shop.
It's no surprise that there's a lot of suitors for Oilers. We did hear that the Avalanche are in the mix.
Oh.
Like, if he goes to Carolina or one of these places like out east, he'll be welcome back. Everyone will always love him. If he goes in the division, that's going to be a little bit of a different story. I think that'll be tougher to take. That'll be a little bit more of a heel turn for Nick.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
The NHRA Hot Rod Heritage Rocky Mountain Nationals return to Rantork Raceway, featuring racers from across North America in nitro funny cars, fuel altered, pro fuel Harley, alcohol dragster, and 7,000 plus horsepower jet cars. The Rocky Mountain Nationals, July 11th to 13th at Rantork Raceway, located west of Highway 2 on Highway 19 at the Edmonton International Airport, with weekend camping available. Tickets and info online at radraceway.com.
Win a trip to Osheaga with the Banquet in Aperol. We're sending one lucky guest to Montreal with flights, hotel, and 2 tickets to one of Canada's hottest music festivals. Enter by July 26. Details in store or on the Banquet app. Get real. Play hard.
You know Dawn. Everyone knows Dawn. Dawn from
Frontier Cartage. That's right, it's me, Dawn from Frontier Cartage, where we're setting the standard for cartage service in Edmonton and beyond, offering city cartage, Alberta highway, short haul deck, and more. My team and I are bringing our years of industry experience and expertise to every mile.
Join Dawn and her boys in a new chapter in transportation excellence, dedicated to exceptional service. Call Dawn at Frontier Cartage, 587-222-5826.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
The Oilers have signed former Oil King Curtis Lazar to a one-year deal at league minimum, with the 30-year-old having 2 goals and 5 points in 48 games with the Devils last season. In other news, Rogers now owns a 75% stake in Maple Leafs Sports and Entertainment, becoming a majority owner after purchasing Bell Media's shares at 37.5%. For the Devils, they've extended Cody Glass to a 2-year contract worth $2.5 million per season. Meanwhile, Mason Appleton is off to Detroit on a 2-year deal worth nearly $3 million per season. And according to ESPN's Shams Charania, the Knicks are expected to hire 2-time NBA Coach of the Year winner Mike Brown as their next head coach. In baseball, the Jays are in action against the Yankees. Jose Barrios gets the start for Toronto. First pitch at 5:07. Meanwhile, the Riverhawks host the Lefties. Edmonton winning 6-3 last night. Listen to the full game on any of EST's audio streams with coverage starting just after 7. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The second hour of EST Afternoon starts right now.
Welcome back to EST Afternoons. It's hour 2. How you doing? Of course, the news today for your Edmonton Oilers. Curtis Lazar signs a 1-year deal with the Edmonton Oilers. The big one yesterday was Andrew Mangiapane. They also signed a depth goaltender for Bako and Riley Stillman, who's a depth defenseman. Probably be 8-9 on your depth chart going into the season. And that's it for the Edmonton Oilers. Stan Bowman spoke today. He said there was never an 8-year deal on the table for Bouchard's camp regarding his deal. He says he sees Mangiapane either with 97 or 29's wing, and that the last player in the top 6 will be an internal candidate, Podkolzin, Kapanen, Savoy, Enrique, Frederick, Tomasic. And he'll also start looking at the coaching staff now that the free agent frenzy is over. Don't expect the Oilers to make a ton of noise. I know there's a name, Isaac Howard, being thrown out there, a college kid and all that, but none of the top dogs have reported that, so we'll leave that aside just for now.
Well, he's got Sty. I mean, Evander Kane out with his suit game and everything like that. Isaac Howard, when he was at the draft being picked by the Lightning, looked pretty sharp.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So we'll see. Again, another hope player. Hoping if they do end up going that way, who knows? But we'll leave that and until something official comes down or the rumors are kind of brought to us by the legitimate insiders out there. Like always, slam that thumbs up. We're close to 100. We're only 27 away, so please do so if you haven't. And hit us up on the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. The Nasty Chat as well. And subscribe if you haven't done so. Hey, golf tournament under a week away. We're all looking forward to that. That's going to be a great day. Looks like it's going to be great weather-wise as well, Joaquin. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Can't wait to see all you out there. It's going to be a good time down at the good old ranch. So looking forward to that. And, of course, I think the morning show is doing a bit of a show. Or I don't know.
Yeah.
6 to 8 a.m.
6 to 8. And then if anything breaks Oilers related, I think Iwanek, myself, and Benny will jump on because everybody else will be golfing. So, again, after 8 o'clock, no live programming on EST. But it's going to be fun, like always. Gager, Inside the Numbers.
Okay.
Brought to you by Play Alberta. Play Alberta is your home for online gaming excitement, featuring casino games, live dealer action, lottery instants, and sports betting. Now with the new Play Alberta app, you can take the fun with you anywhere. Download the app or sign up today at playalberta.ca. This is going to make everybody upset. How much money someone do the quick math. How much money does Bouchard and Nurse make together?
$19.75 million.
Is that what it is?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just did quick math.
Okay. The Florida Panthers have Seth Jones, Aaron Ekblad, Gustav Forsling, Niko Mikkola, Dmitry Kulikov, and Uvis Balinskis all under contract for next year, Joaquin. Okay? 6 defensemen. You know how much they will make combined?
$23.5 million.
24.75.
23.35.
35.
That's unreal.
Yeah. Not bad.
So the Oilers, Nurse and Bouchard are only $4 million off the whole decor of the Florida Panthers.
Wow. They better score a lot.
I just wanted to I saw that on Twitter and I was like, that can't be right. And yeah, it is right. It's absolutely crazy to think about it that way. The cap is going up though, so there'll be a lot more room for the Edmonton Oilers, though there are no movements and cap restraints. So hopefully, Giancarlo, Hernan, don't do me like this on a Wednesday. Not fair. Jones' contract is retained.
Yeah, there is $2 million that Chicago is retaining. So
hey, good work by Bill Zito.
Yeah, that's even better. That makes it sound even worse, actually, when I say that out loud.
Okay, Andrew Mangiapane, coming off a 14-goal season. He had 14 the year prior with the Flames, 17, 35, 18, 17. What for you, Gager, is a good season for Andrew Mangiapane if he is in your top 6 for goal totals, point totals?
I'd like him to get to see anywhere between 15 and 20. I think that's...
You don't want to bump that up?
No.
Okay.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
I really think the way that the Edmonton Oilers approach this season is a more defensive-minded team, and to win those close games. And I'm not saying playoff hockey again, but you're going to get production from the big guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're good. Connor and Leon are both going to have north of, I would say, 220 points combined. Right?
Like they're going to be fine.
Yeah. They're going to get their points. I think like Nuge. I was talking to Reed about this. What equals a playoff spot with point production from a team? How much do you need? And I think he's got something cooking there, which is really interesting. But you're going to have to get contributions throughout the lineup. You mentioned you like the Edmonton Oilers defense right now. And when you look at it, you're like, oh, yeah, it's a lot of money you're paying for that, but it's a pretty good defensive core too. Bouchard will get his points. Wallman's a kind of a enigma here. What does his offensive production look like? Because here's another guy that likes to shoot the puck.
Yeah.
Has blown it past goalies. We know what Ekholm can do.
Yeah.
Nurse is sometimes streaky with how he gets points and puts points up on the board.
It's usually just a shot on net, and it's
a real nice one though. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So if he can find a little bit more consistency, Kulak had a really good year offensively too. I thought this year, right? Scored some timely goals. So
Kulak's awesome.
He's great. It's fantastic. So I think production from the back end will be important for this team. I think and they're capable of it.
But how many points for Mangiapane?
15 goals. I mean, I would say above 35.
Okay. Wow, you're really giving him he doesn't have to hit a lot. 15 goals. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna raise it. I think he has to be between 20 and 25.
Jesus.
He has to. He's been close. He's only hit 20s once in his career. But if he's going to be playing with Draisaitl or McDavid, like Stan Bowman said today, he's got to be between 20 and 25. And for me, the point totals are going to be similar. So you say he gets 20 goals, I think 20 assists. Around there. A 40 to 50 point guy.
Is that okay?
Is that fair? He's been a 50-point guy once. He's been a 40-point guy twice.
I just look at it, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't see him getting out on the power play that much.
Oh, God, no.
Right?
No.
So you're looking at the bulk of these points on either shorthanded or even strength. So that's why I kind of put it a little bit lower. If he does that, even strength, that means that the players playing with him are having career years too. Because,
I mean, I don't want to set the bar unrealistic. I think 20 to 25 is. Your number is good too, Gager. I mean, 15 is probably the low end that people will accept here, especially if he's in the top 6 all year. I mean, look at Podkolzin play with Draisaitl most of the year. He had 8 goals, right? But they're different players. Like Mangiapane at least has scored in this league, right? Where Podkolzin hasn't really. So, question for you boys. With Hyman coming off major injury he did, what are your expectations for him going into next season?
I don't see any drop off. It's a dislocated wrist, right?
I think he said he's going to miss camp but be ready for the start of the season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That long?
Yeah.
Well, then that changes things. I thought it was more like just the bones had to heal and stuff like that.
But let's just assume that he misses the first 2 weeks of the season. That's trouble for the Oilers.
Huge trouble.
On the Bouchard thing, the reason the no movement is because you have to be a UFA status. That's why it doesn't kick in. On the bright side, well, it's not a bright side, but Nurse is only 2 years away from having a modified no movement walking. And I'm pretty sure Bowman's going to look to try to do something there. I truly believe that.
Yeah, McDouce, guys, Skinner had 16 goals playing 4th line most of the year. Mangiapane should be able to beat 15. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, like 15 to 20.
A lot of people are asking, do you have an appetite to bring Jeff Skinner back?
I don't know. I kind of see his name, and I think I feel like he's lonely out there.
He's not Knob's guy.
I don't think, even if they were to say, hey, Jeff, come on back, we'll give you the league minimum. I think, you know what, guys, I just don't want to be sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
I want to be part of it.
And he only missed 10 games, and it seems like he missed more.
He's on the bench. Well, remember that one time we were watching him play, and he was, I don't know who he was playing with, but he had a few shifts, and it looked okay, and then they took him off, and he went to the bench, and I said, hey, I think I said it to Tommy maybe, and he looked really upset that he got taken off the ice, right? I mean, it's natural. You're going to do that. But talk about a guy that I think was a model player. Like,
Always a smile on his face, man. And that's tough to do. In fairness, though, I don't think he's a Stan Bowman guy either. Stan Bowman didn't bring him in. If Stan Bowman's the GM last year on July 1st, I don't think Jeff Skinner gets signed. That's just the reality of it. That's the way I look at it. It's interesting, though. But no, I think the Oilers are set heading into camp. Like I said, they might bring in a PTO. But this is going to be their lineup probably to start the season. Like, they're set in goal. And I know it's not sexy and you wanted to see an improvement, but they just couldn't make it happen because there's really the top goalies are not moving. So you're going to have Skinner and Pickard, 3.6. That's a hell of a bargain.
and even if, like, everyone's talking about the situation out in Vancouver, even if Sheloff goes through, he's got to go through the list of teams.
Yeah.
He probably gets picked up by someone.
100%.
Right?
Their defense is set with the 7 guys. I like their defense. I think it's one of the more solid groups they've had in a long, long time. Up front, a lot of question marks for sure. And we'll see how it all plays out. Coming up next, we're going to get the thoughts of our buddy Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. He was in on the Bowman press conference. I think he asked the first 2 questions. We'll get his thoughts. We'll see if he thinks like Hernan and Gager that, the team needs some improvements, but this is kind of the roster that's going to head into camp. All right, so that's the reality of the situation for the Edmonton Oilers. Are they better than the team that finished off a couple of weeks ago? No, I don't think anyone can say they're better. But we move forward, and like Gager brought up a great point, they might have to change their style play a little bit, right? They might have to get more defensive with this crop of players. On the other side of the breaks, DVD from NHL.com here on EST Afternoons. We've kind of hit a snag here on the thumbs up, still 20 away. Let's get to 100 on this day. Reminder, Reed Wilkins coming up. He's got a loaded show. He's got Curtis Lazar on the show. So
Matt Tompkins, too.
And Matt Tompkins, the Oilers, he's 31 years old. Depth goaltender that they brought in as well. So it's going to be a loaded show. Reed Wilkins from 3 to 6. He'll be alongside the one and only Coop. We're back after the break here on EST Afternoons.
.30-year-old Curtis Lazar has signed with the Oilers on a 1-year deal at league minimum. The former Oil King had 5 points in 48 games with the Devils last season. And around the league, Rogers now owns majority ownership of Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment with a 75% stake in the company after purchasing Bell Media's 37.5% shares. Elsewhere, Cody Glass re-upped with the Devils for 2 years at $5 million total. Mason Appleton also gets a deal for 2 years out in Detroit with an average salary of nearly $3 million per season. For the Elks, they've added American defensive lineman Tyreek Johnson to their practice squad. The 26-year-old was most recently a part of the Jets practice squad in the NFL after playing 5 years with the Gamecocks in South Carolina. In the association, Mike Brown is expected to become the head coach of the Knicks, according to ESPN's Shams Charania, while in baseball, it's the Jays and Yankees going at it. Jose Barrios gets the ball for Toronto. First pitch at 5:07. Back in Edmonton, the Riverhawks play the Lefties just after 7 o'clock. Catch the full game on any of EST's audio streams. Find out the full schedule at edmontonsportstalk.com. This sports update is brought to you by Capital Care. Financial support deeply affects residents at Capital Care, whether it's a one-time donation or a monthly contribution. Every penny counts. Find out how you can donate at capitalcarefoundation.net. Up next, we have Derek Van Diest from NHL.com checking in with the fellas. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
It is Noah Philp checking in. What did you learn most from the games you got into the NHL this year?
I felt more and more comfortable. I mean, I think that's pretty natural, but I learned how clean the game is. And the more you can do that and try to chip in offensively, but be responsible at the same time, just trying to clean up and be as mistake-free as possible was something that I really took from those experiences.
The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, weekday afternoon, 3 to 6, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Kayaks, bikes, camping gear? Make space for summer fun with Sentinel Storage. Spend more time on adventures with your outdoor gear and less time looking for them. Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca.
River Creek Resort and Casino on K97 proudly present Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly. Featuring small band and acoustic performances, Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly in the venue July 25th. Tickets at rivercreekresort.com.
River Creek Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Everyone knows when you need a truck now, you call Dawn.
That's right. You call us, Frontier Cartage, when you need driver coverage or have a truck that's down.
You call Dawn from Frontier Cartage.
When you've got way more freight to move than you thought.
You call Dawn from Frontier Cartage.
When you need a truck that's available and ready to start anytime you need.
You call Dawn at Frontier Cartage, 587-222-5826. 587-222-5826.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
.225 EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Zach Kubish, Hernan Salas here with you, talking about Mangiapane becoming an Edmonton Oiler for the next 2 years. A full no movement this year. Next year, it's a 5-team trade list. Whatever. It's the way of the NHL now, my friends. And then Curtis Lazar, former Edmonton Oil King, signs with the Oilers as well. Fourth line, depth guy. We'll see if he can stick with the big guys here come September. So those are the two big ones that the Oilers did this week. Of course, they lost Klingberg, Perry. Well, they didn't lose them. They just didn't re-sign them. Those guys got a ton of money. Klingberg got $4 million from San Jose. Good for him. He really came on in the playoffs, struggled a bit in the finals, as most of the team did. But, yeah, it's crazy. Crazy times here. Oilers, due to the salary cap, can't do much this offseason compared to last season, where it was an absolute signing frenzy. Everybody was claiming Jeff Jackson, the greatest GM / whatever president in the NHL, and now that narrative has kind of changed. I'll just get to this one real quick. Had zero confidence in Jackson and Bowman after last summer. So far, still no confidence in these two bozos. Absolutely brutal from Krager. Tell us how you really feel, buddy. Hey, let's get to 100 thumbs up, please. And thank you. We're only at 83. We should get to 100. Aren't you excited for Mangiapane and Lazar? Come on, people. Let's go. Hey, the Afternoon Inbox is presented by the River Creek Resort and Casino. Check out Ian Munsick. July 5th, that's coming up. Or you can check out the Bay City Rollers on August 7th. All you got to do for tickets, go to rivercreekresort.com or hit up the River Creek box office. Sorry, Gager, you wanted to say something?
No, I was wondering about BBJ said something in the Nasty Chat. How confident are you that the Oilers make the finals again? I looked at that question. It's so hard to answer that because so many things have to happen. And do they have a chance? Yeah, I have to say yes. Right? They've done it 2 years in a row, but we don't know about injuries. What are the impact of other teams? Right? Like you can't predict that right now.
We can only base it off on the roster on paper right now, and I'll be honest. I think Tommy said it too. I don't think they will. I don't think they'll be returning to the Stanley Cup final. They'll be a playoff team. How far they go, unknown, because like you said, there's so many factors that have to go into it, but I don't think this team will be in the Stanley Cup final this year. Not to say they won't be in the year after and the year after that. I'm just saying this year I think they take a step back from going to the finals. Let's get to Derek Van Diest from NHL.com as he joins us via phone right now. Derek, how you doing today, my friend?
Good, guys. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're enjoying this gorgeous sunny day.
Oh, we will once 3 o'clock hits, my friend. We will once 3 o'clock hits. Hey, all right, Derek Van Diest. I think you were kind of in the same boat as us. We kind of, we didn't think the Oilers would be very busy come July 1st, and they weren't. They brought in some pieces. Mangiapane, the big one. for the Edmonton Oilers can play a top 9 role. Curtis Lazar announced today he'll battle for a 4th line spot. We'll see what happens there. But all in all, is this kind of what you were expecting from the Edmonton Oilers this summer?
Yeah, a little bit. I knew that they had to free up money because they had to re-sign Evan Bouchard, and I think that was the number one priority here is to get Evan Bouchard signed. And once they got him, then they can kind of look and see where they were at salary cap wise. And there's not a lot left. There's not a lot left over. And so I thought, Mangiapane is a good target there. There's a couple of targets there, and I think he was one of the top forward targets. So I think to bring him in here for a couple of years at a really good price, I think that was actually a pretty good signing. But it's just a matter of, they moved Arvidsson, they moved Kane, they lost a bunch of guys, they lost Brown, they lost Corey Perry, which I think that was a big one here. I think the Oilers wanted to bring Corey Perry back, but when Los Angeles offers him $2 million plus another $2 million in bonuses, that's just too heavy. That's too rich of a price, and I think everyone can agree with that. The Oilers could not afford that, and Los Angeles. Kenny Holland's throwing the money around there in LA, trying to get that team to become a more competitive team in the playoffs. So he brought in Corey Perry, probably thinking, hey, if I bring this guy in, we'll go to the finals for sure. And so that's just the way, it works out. So he brings in Corey Perry. Connor Brown, I think that's a bit of a loss there, Connor Brown. But he got a really nice, rich contract. So it's something that the Oilers couldn't match. It couldn't offer. And then Klingberg, given Klingberg 4 years in San Jose, this guy's on 2 bad hips. He's still trying to recover, and he had a pretty good playoff, decent playoff, not a great playoff, but to give him that kind of money, 4-year deal, you got to say, you know what? Yeah, I remember Brian Burke once said, can't remember what player he was talking about, but if he gets that kind of deal from some team, he gets $1 million from somebody, I'll drive him to the airport myself. And I think that was the case here. Okay, we can't afford you guys, but I'll give you right to the airport if you want it, because those prices are a little too rich for the Edmonton Oilers.
DVD, like looking at this team, and there's a long time to go from now to the regular season, then obviously to the postseason. Just looking at this Oilers lineup as it is, where do you think the major focus of the management will look to improve, or will they wait till they kind of see what they have first and then make adjustments?
Well, I think goaltending is right there. I think everyone's talking about that. The goaltending market wasn't very deep in free agency, but I think as the season goes along, I think that may be an issue that they have to address. Can you go a 3rd year with Stuart Skinner, considering the issues that he had this season? He had to get pulled after 2 games. The issue got pulled in the finals. Like, can you go with Stuart Skinner again, or do you have to bring in a more veteran, reliable, seasoned guy in the middle of the season? I think that's the one thing that they'll look at, because I think everyone's been screaming in this town for a goaltender. There really wasn't one to be had in free agency. And so maybe, during the season, as things play out, the Oilers will have a little bit of more cap money here. So maybe they can get a guy that from another team that's not going anywhere. And I think that, they could take him over the top. And I think that's one of the things that the Oilers will be eyeing. They'll go into the season with the duo they have, who are both unrestricted free agents next year, after next season, excuse me. And so they'll go with that duo. But I think that's something they'll keep a real good eye on, is whether or not they need to improve that going into the playoffs. Just considering if, you fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right? That's the way it kind of works. And then it's one of those things. Do you trust the tandem to go into that playoff the 3rd time in a row, trying to win the Stanley Cup when you failed the first 2 times? So I think that's the issue, the biggest pressing issue for Stan Bowman going into the season.
Derek Van Diest from NHL.com joining us here on EST Afternoons. DVD, we were talking about it earlier, like where this team is in their kind of evolution, right? Like they're a Stanley Cup contender. I guess what worries me about this team is that they're still in that we hope this guy can work out with Draisaitl or on the top 6. Do you know what I mean? Like Savoy's a wild card. Thomasic's a wild card. I mean, Podkolzin and Kapanen are not ideal guys to be playing in your top 6. Mangiapane, we all thought Arvidsson and Skinner were going to work beautifully with Draisaitl, and that didn't happen either. So where are you kind of where this team is in the management? They continue to hope things work out when they're a Stanley Cup contender.
Yeah, and I think the problem is that because you have you don't have a lot of money to spend beyond, the owners have the new core four now, right? The guys that are making big time money. So you kind of almost have to, go on a wish and a prayer here that hoping something works out. If it doesn't, and I think what I like about this is that those are one-year deals. If it didn't work out, we move on. It didn't work out, you move on. So I think you're not stuck with a bad situation. Like they didn't give Arvidsson 4 years and then get stuck with them. They didn't give Skinner 3 years and get stuck with them. They said, hey, we're going to try it for a year. If it works out, then we'll resign you. If it doesn't work out, we'll see you later. Best of luck somewhere else. So I think that's the situation. But I think they're just kind of handcuffed a little bit because if they had the money, if they had the $5, $6, $7 million to go out get an established winger, an established top six guy, then they would do that. And I just don't think they're able to do that. So when you don't have that luxury, you really kind of have to, hope things work out with a cheaper player. And I think that's what they're trying to do right now.
You mentioned just goaltending. Where do you think they look to this? Is this by trade or I mean, we all have eyes on Vancouver. They just signed an amazing deal for Demko again, so it looks like it's going to be Lankinen and Demko if his health keeps up. But could you see them picking up possibly, if possible, like a Sheilofs or looking through the waiver wire to address this goaltending situation?
I think so, because I think when it comes to goaltending, if you have an established starter somewhere, and I'm thinking of Cam Talbot. Like he was a good backup to an established starter. He wasn't going to play over Lundqvist. So the owners went and said, hey, your backup, I think, is good enough to be a starter for our team. And he was. He worked out really well. And I think sometimes you got to go and look at other teams' organizations, other teams' depth and goal and say, okay, if they have an established number one guy that's going to play like 60 games a year, the backup may be the backup, but he might be able to start for you somewhere else. So I think maybe that's kind of where they look at. They look at, okay, what team has depth in goal? Only one goalie can play at a time. So I think that's the key. Like it's tough because either you develop your own guy and you wait 6 or 7 years or, however long it takes to develop a guy, or you go and take someone else's guy that's been developing for 4 or 5 years and just hasn't got an opportunity yet, and then maybe try to pry him away from that team. So I think that's the way the owners are looking at things. And I don't think they're going to get anyone's number one unless someone kind of falls off the table and suddenly, they're looking to move a big name goalie. But I do think that there is an opportunity there to look at, teams number 2 on the depth chart, maybe even number 3 on the depth chart. You're right, like Slivos, and say, hey, you know what, maybe we can get this guy and give him an opportunity and let him run with it, because like I said, there's only 32 nets in the league, and there's probably a lot of guys that can play if they get the opportunity and just dying to get that opportunity. So I think that's what the owners have to do, is they have to go and scour the depth charts of other teams and their goalies and see who's developing and who's doing well. And then if you need help, if you need a guy that you think you could turn to, then that's where you go. I think the goaltending issue will be addressed at the trading deadline, depending on how well Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard play this year. So I think that's the issue right now. I don't think the owners feel that they're in dire need of a new goalie. They'll get into the playoffs with what they have. It's just a matter of can they win with what they have, and I think that's something they'll evaluate.
DVD, are the Oilers a better team today than the one that finished a couple weeks ago?
I don't think so. I think they're going to have to prove stuff to me. Mangiapane is going to prove that he can play. These new guys are going to have to prove they can play. Noah Phelps going to have to prove that he can make the jump from the American Hockey League and play. So there's a lot of question marks on guys, like you were just saying. There's a lot of hope.
Yeah.
I think you lost a lot of established NHLers. Like you lost Kane, established NHLer. You lost Brown, established NHLer. You lost Corey Perry, a veteran NHLer. Like the list goes on. Even Arvidsson is an established NHLer, and you're trying to replace these guys, hoping that the next guys can make and go to the next level. Like Mangiapane, he had a 35-goal season in Calgary a few years ago. Can he get back to that? He had 18 goals, I believe it was last year. Or was it 14 or 18? I can't remember what he got last year. Can he get back? Can he be a 30-goal guy? So I think there's just too many question marks going into the roster this year to say that this team is better. I thought at this time last year the team was better because I thought, wow, Jeff Skinner's going to be a good player. Arvidsson's going to be a good player. You got all these guys coming in. Henrique's coming back. So I thought that on paper, I thought the team was better. It didn't necessarily work out that way. So maybe this year on paper it doesn't look as good. Maybe they will work out better. But there's got a lot of question marks to this roster going into this season, and you're hoping to fill some holes with guys that you could be the best player in Europe, the highest scoring player in Europe, but you're playing in Europe for a reason, right? Like that's why you're not here in the NHL. So hopefully that works out with some of those guys, and hopefully some of the guys take the next step in their development and can fill those spots.
DVD, are you hearing anything on the coaching front? I know Stan Bowman said today that he's gonna, now that the signings are done and all that, he's gonna take a look at the coaching staff. I guess if you were to kind of put your finger on it, who do you see moving on, and where do you see them going?
Well, I think the situation is obviously they lost Glenn Gullickson. That's a big loss. He was obviously played an instrumental role in the power play and the special teams penalty kill. The guys love playing for him. He really added something to this organization. It was funny. We were talking about him today, just some people at the office, and Gullickson survived 5 coaching changes. You're a pretty good coach when you survive 5 coaching. It was like Kelly Buchberger back in the day. He just, everyone was getting fired around him, and he kind of just was Teflon Kelly. He just stuck around. He still is an assistant coach. So, but it shows you the quality of coach that he was, that to keep a guy around like that. So, but I think now Chris Knobloch is going to get some say into his assistants. Yeah. I think now they're going to go to him and say, okay, you know what? You're the head coach. You've been the head coach for 2 years. You got 1 more year. We want to re-sign you. It's like Sam Bowman said, they want to extend him. He's gone to the Stanley Cup final in his first 2 years, so you got to extend him. And then I think he's going to have a say. He's going to have a say in some guys, maybe some people he's worked with in the past, maybe some coaches that he thinks deserve an opportunity to play, to coach up in the NHL level. I'm not sure. Maybe he needs maybe he wants an older mentor type coach. I'm not sure, but I do think that he is going to have a big say in who the Oilers' assistants are, and it's going to be interesting to see who they bring in. Like, does the goaltending coach stay? Does Mark Stewart stay? Does the video coach stay? Like, it's just a matter of, I think the coaching staff is going to be heavily influenced by Chris Knobloch, particularly if they say to him, okay, you're a guy for the next 4 or 5 years. Then I think he's going to have some say in who his assistants are going to be.
No, for sure. It's going to be interesting times for sure here in Edmonton. DVD, I don't know if it slows down for you right now, or are you heading into vacation mode here soon?
Well, it's slowing down a little bit now that we got the first day of free agency out of the way, and then I was down at development camp here for a little bit. But yeah, it'll slow down, but this thing, it's never over. Like, there's always signings or movements or trades or something's always going on, but it's a little quieter season. It's not as busy as it was before. So I will get to enjoy the patio on occasion. We'll get to enjoy some of the other sports around town. I'll be at the Elks game on Sunday. I'm going to River Cats tonight. So yeah, so I'm going to try and enjoy some of the, summer in Edmonton. I really enjoy summer in Edmonton, so I try and get out and do as much as possible.
Great stuff, DVD. Thank you for taking the time to join us, and I'm sure we'll chat down the road here, buddy.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
All right, that's DVD. Great stuff. He's from NHL.com. Interesting on the goaltending stuff. I'm intrigued to see the coaches.
That's what I'm in. Yeah, for DVD to say, yeah, Knobloch, okay, we've had people around you that we thought would, but now it's more balls in your court.
Yeah,
to pick who you might want, which I think I like it.
Oh, it's great. I'm intrigued to see what happens. I know there's one name that many fans would like to see they move on from.
We might have to punch up our resumes.
Yes,
get on that bench.
Hey, the afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino. Check out the kitchen restaurant Sundays and Mondays. It's 50% off the entire menu. It's from 5 p.m. till close. Up next, we'll close out EST afternoons for this Wednesday afternoon. Keep the thumbs up coming. We're close to 100, and your messages to the River Cree inbox 780-218-9999, and hit us up on the Nasty Chat. We're back after the break.
Curtis Lazar is now an Oilers, signing in Edmonton at league minimum on a 1-year deal. The former Oil King had 5 points in 48 games in New Jersey last season. And out east, Rogers now holds majority ownership of Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment after buying Bell Media shares, 37.5% shares of the company. Rogers now controls 75% stakes in MLSE. Around the league, Cody Glass gets a 2-year, $5 million contract worth $2.5 million on average with the Devils. For the Red Wings, they've landed Mason Appleton for 2 years, nearly $3 million per season. CFL News has the Elks signing defensive lineman Tyreek Johnson to their practice squad. The 26-year-old played 5 years in South Carolina with the Gamecocks before joining the practice squad of the New York Jets. Elsewhere, ESPN's Shams Charania is reporting that the Knicks are expected to name Mike Brown as their next head coach, and staying out east, the Jays battle the Yankees just after 5, Toronto naming Jose Barrios their starter. While at home, the Riverhawks meet the Lefties. EST's audio streams has full coverage of the action with first pitch at 7:05. The final segment of EST Afternoons brings us back after a brief intermission. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Avocado and feta dip, passion fruit cheesecake, and cocktails that taste like summer in a glass. Try the new feature menu at The Banquet. Refreshing, craveable, and made for sunny days. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Summer in Edmonton means 3 things: warm weather, long nights, and plenty of sports. From the lake to the links, you can boost your summer fun with hundreds of casino games, live betting on your favorite sports teams, and access to popular lotteries. All in one app, anywhere in the province. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code YAG50 to claim a $50 free bet. That's promo code YAG50 for a $50 free bet on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
River Creek Resort and Casino on K97 proudly present Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly. Featuring small band and acoustic performances, Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly in the venue July 25th. Tickets at rivercreekresort.com.
River Creek Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
2:47, final segment here on EST Afternoon. It's been a fun show. Lots of Oilers discussion, of course, with Curtis Lazar and Andrew Mangiapane signing with the Edmonton Oilers. I expect it to be quiet on the signing front for the rest of the summer for the Oilers. Maybe some small things here and there. The big one now is the coaching staff. He said he's going to address it now that he's signed a few players. So we'll see who's in, who's out, and we'll see if Knobloch brings in. Well, he probably can bring in his own guys. So yeah, interesting. Gonna be an interesting offseason heading into camp. Of course, enjoy July, August, because then in September it gets going once again for the Edmonton Oilers. Will they return to the Stanley Cup Finals? Is this team better than the one that finished off last season? So many questions up in the air, so we'll wait and see on that. It's going to be fun. Of course, for us, we're going to go all over the place in the summer. We've got to get real creative, Joaquin. We'll discuss a lot of different sports here. What would you like to hear? Is there a team? Is there a league you want us to cover, or certain guests you'd like for us to have on the show? We're always open to it. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat with that, or on the River Creek inbox, or you can even email us. So Hernan or Joaquin at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Of course, our big golf tournament's coming up next Tuesday. That should be fun. The weather's supposed to be really, really nice. So if you're participating in that, we look forward to seeing you there. Should be a fun day. Of course, the Edmonton Elks back at practice. Day 1 today. They play on Sunday, 5 o'clock at Commonwealth Stadium. They'll take on the Ottawa Redblacks. Sounds like Drew Brown was taking first-team reps
Yeah.
So he might be starting.
Told ya.
Yeah. So it's gonna be tough. But the Elks, I believe they win. If they don't win, I get a nice kick in the nuts from Dusty. So that should be fun. Quickly, we always do this in the final segment. We have some fun with some stuff kind of this day. Birthdays today. Former Edmonton Oiler, great. Probably the second best German to play for the Oilers. Dominic Cahoon's birthday today.
Cahoon!
Remember? Yeah.
All right.
They were so good when they played when they were 8 years old that it's going to translate to the NHL.
Yeah. They said the same thing with Brown.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Brett the Hitman Hart's birthday, 68.
Wow.
He was awesome. One of my top 3 wrestlers of all time. On this day in 1986, Big Trouble in Little China was released in the theaters. You remember that one?
Of course.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name in it?
Kurt Russell.
I know, but what's his name in the movie?
Oh. I can't remember.
Oh, it was good. That's a great Kurt Russell movie.
And 45 years ago today, Joaquin, the film Airplane was released in theaters.
If you haven't seen that one, it's hilarious.
Oh,
my gosh. It's so... I don't think you could do a movie like that these days.
No, you can't.
You couldn't. I always...
you could.
Yeah, you could, I guess. But the one where they hit the... Poop's going to hit the fan, and then all of a sudden they show a fan with a bunch of poop hitting it. Just my type of humor, man. Oh, so good.
That's good stuff, man.
Jack Burton. Yeah, that's right. Thanks, VR.
Oh, it's great, man.
Jack Burton.
And surprisingly, we have no food takes today. None whatsoever. Might go for wings today.
Really?
Yeah, it's Wing Wednesday.
I had wings at OJ's yesterday. They were good.
Hot?
No, my wife doesn't like the hot wings. We just got the salt and pepper.
We went for lunch at OJ's in Beaumont, and I had the hot wings.
Did you?
Yeah, they were not too bad.
No, they're good.
Yeah.
Nachos at Brewhouse are good.
The nachos?
Yeah. Loaded.
Yeah, so we'll see.
And then movie popcorn. I wasn't that healthy yesterday. Maybe that's why I don't feel well.
Mike's saying that we're serious downers today. Why? Well, how are we downers?
No, we're just...
I just have my opinions on the Oilers.
Yeah. And look, I was more optimistic than this guy over here. I was thinking, there's a long way to go here.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they didn't... well, I guess they couldn't, really. But just to go big game hunting now...
Well, they can't.
They can't, but... There's you don't win the Stanley Cup in July.
No.
Because I thought they did last year.
Well, so did Nashville.
Oh, yeah, look at Nashville. That's what I was going to bring up. They were awful.
And I said it, guys. Like, I like Mangiapane. I think he's a good addition. I just don't think it improves their top 6. That's all I said. I think he's going to be a good player in their top 9. Curtis Lazar, good dude. Always smiling. But it doesn't move the needle for me. That's all I'm saying. Is that negative? No, I think that's just being honest. If you don't agree, then
hey, and their
fair.
GM said it. He's looking internal to fill some spots. That's encouraging.
Savoy, Thomasek, all those boys hitting the gym hard, training because they have a great opportunity to be on this team and get significant minutes. Joaquin, right? Hyman status, like, is he going to be ready for the first 2-3 games of the season? There's another opportunity there, right?
Yeah, he better be doing wrist curls.
Mike says, that's my point. I'm glad the Oilers didn't overpay and make stupid moves. Be patient. Hernan sounds like the playoffs start. No, Mike. Mike, and we said that too. I said, this is probably the best thing for the Oilers that they have no movements and no money because seeing all the other deals made around the league, it was terrible. And you're glad the Oilers didn't have to do that. And we also picked Mangiapane as one of the best deals of free agency. So I agree. I'm not saying the playoffs start tomorrow. I'm saying this is the roster that's going to start the regular season, guys. Outside of maybe a PTO or
there'll probably be something. Jeff Skinner, PTO.
Something like that, right? So I'm saying that this is the team that's probably going to head into the season. That's all I'm saying, Mike. But good conversation. Thank you for keeping it clean there. We don't always have to agree, but I think you're misunderstanding what I said. I think this team is not as good as the one as last year, and I think that's fair too.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic about Mangiapane, and I really don't. Yeah, a 2020 guy, I think that would be unbelievable.
That's unreal. For me, if he's going to get the first look with Dry and he can stick there and he can make plays and read Dry, I think Mangiapane has to hit 20.
Yeah, John Carlos says if Mangiapane can be Dry's Hyman, like Hyman is to McDavid, that's
who struck gold. Well, and Mike adds, like, no one thought Zach Hyman could score 50 goals. That's true. I didn't. When they first signed him, I was like, there's no chance.
No.
Yeah. So interesting. Hey, we want to thank you guys. Great interaction today. You guys all kept it awesome. It's great. I love the conversations with you guys on the Nasty, you guys and gals on the Nasty Chat, and of course on the River Cree inbox 780-218-9999. Tomorrow we'll probably have Tim Harani to tee up F1 race week as well. We got Indy as well, and then we don't know yet. We might pick an NHL team, someone that was active, like LA or Vegas.
Yeah, maybe try to keep it in the Pacific.
In the Pacific to see what they did and just get the vibe check from them. But for Coop, for Hawk, I'm Hernan saying enjoy this beautiful day. Go for wings. Go have a cold one. We'll talk tomorrow. Chowders.